9 signs he's quietly in love with you and hiding it. Love psychology facts. Have you ever wondered if someone secretly loves you but doesn't know how to say it? Love isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes, it's hidden in the quiet moments, the subtle gestures, and the unspoken words that are easy to miss. The way someone looks at you, the effort they put into being around you, or even the way they stumble over their words can all be clues to what's really in their heart. Understanding why someone might hide their feelings can give you incredible insight into their behavior. Often, people conceal their emotions because they're afraid of rejection, unsure if their feelings are reciprocated, or waiting for the perfect moment to express themselves. Love psychology tells us that these hidden emotions don't just disappear, they manifest in small but significant ways. Recognizing these signs can help you uncover the truth and understand what's really going on beneath the surface. So how can you tell if he's quietly in love with you but keeping it to himself? The signs are often subtle but deeply telling. From the way he remembers every little detail about you to how he gets flustered when you're around, these behaviors reveal more than words ever could. Today, we're diving into the 9 unmistakable signs that he's secretly in love with you and trying to hide it. Some of these signs might surprise you, but by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Let's get started. Sign number 1, he finds reasons to be around you. One of the most telling signs that he's quietly in love with you is how he constantly finds excuses to be around you. Whether it's volunteering to help with errands, suggesting casual hangouts, or, coincidentally, showing up at places you frequent, he's subtly making sure he spends time with you. This behavior isn't random, it's a sign that he craves your presence but isn't ready to openly express his feelings. This happens because love drives people to seek proximity. In psychology, this is called the familiarity principle, where spending time together strengthens emotional bonds. He might not outright confess his feelings, but his actions will speak volumes. For example, he may hear you mention needing help with a project and immediately offer to lend a hand, even if it's inconvenient for him. Or he might linger longer than necessary after conversations, find reasons to text you, or join a group activity because he knows you'll be there. Even small gestures, like showing interest in your hobbies or wanting to share his own interests, reveal his desire to connect with you. These subtle yet consistent efforts are his way of staying close to you, hoping you notice his feelings without him having to say a word. Sign number 2, he remembers the little things about you. When someone secretly loves you, they tend to remember even the smallest details about you. It's not just the big, obvious things like your birthday or favorite food, it's the tiny, seemingly insignificant details that most people wouldn't recall. He might remember the way you like your coffee, a childhood story you shared, or the random book you said you wanted to read months ago. This happens because love enhances focus and memory when it comes to the person we care about. According to psychologists, people who are emotionally invested tend to pay closer attention to their loved one's words and actions. His mind naturally prioritizes information about you because you've become important to him. For instance, imagine mentioning once that you love sunflowers, and later, he surprises you with a bouquet for no particular reason. Or you casually share a story about your favorite childhood dessert, and the next time you're together, he suggests getting it. These thoughtful gestures, no matter how small, reveal that he's not just listening, he's treasuring what you say. It's his quiet way of showing how much he cares without needing to put it into words. Sign number 3, his body language gives him away. When someone is quietly in love, their body language often betrays them. Love can be hard to verbalize, but the emotions tied to it tend to manifest in unconscious gestures and movements. For instance, he might lean in closer when you speak, maintain deep eye contact, or mirror your actions without even realizing it. His body is essentially expressing what his words cannot. One of the clearest indicators is his physical proximity. If he often stands or sits closer to you than necessary, it's not by accident. Similarly, subtle touches, like brushing against your hand, playfully nudging your arm, or even fixing something on your clothes, are his way of creating a physical connection. His eyes are another giveaway, they might light up when you walk into the room, and he may find excuses to glance at you, even when you're not speaking. This behavior is rooted in psychology. When someone is in love, they naturally seek closeness and harmony. Mirroring your body language is an unconscious attempt to build rapport and show alignment with you. For example, imagine sitting across from him at a coffee shop. You lean forward, and seconds later, he does the same. Or you cross your legs, and he follows suit. Even when he's silent, his body is sending signals of interest and affection. These subconscious cues, no matter how subtle, often speak volumes about the depth of his feelings for you. Sign number 4, he's always ready to help you. A man who is secretly in love will make it a point to help you whenever he can. His willingness to go out of his way, whether it's solving a minor inconvenience or offering support during a challenging time, is a clear indicator of his affection. This isn't just about being kind, it's his way of expressing how much you mean to him without saying the words outright. You might notice that he's the first to volunteer when you need assistance. Whether it's fixing your car, helping you move, or giving you advice on a tough decision, his actions demonstrate how much he cares. Even small gestures, like bringing you coffee when you're busy or carrying something heavy for you, show that he's invested in your well-being. From a psychological perspective, this behavior stems from a desire to feel useful and valuable in your life. Love often drives people to find ways to contribute positively to the lives of those they care about. Helping you is his way of building a stronger bond while proving his worth as someone you can rely on. For instance, imagine mentioning that you're struggling to set up a piece of furniture. Before you even finish explaining, he's offering to come over with his toolkit. Or you might casually say you're stressed about a project, and he's already brainstorming ways to assist. His consistent actions speak louder than words, quietly showing that your happiness and comfort are his priorities. Sign number 5, he gets jealous, but won't admit it. Jealousy can be one of the most revealing signs that someone is quietly in love with you. When he sees you giving attention to someone else, even in a harmless way, it can stir emotions he might not fully understand or know how to express. While he may not openly admit to being jealous, his actions will often betray him. You might notice subtle changes in his behavior, such as becoming quieter, more distracted, or even slightly irritable when another person captures your attention. This reaction is rooted in his fear of losing the special connection he feels with you. Love psychology explains that jealousy is often linked to emotional investment. He values you and fears that someone else could take his place in your life. Even if he knows his feelings are irrational, the thought of competition can make him protective, though he'll likely try to hide it to avoid seeming insecure. For example, you might mention a new coworker or friend, and he'll immediately start asking questions like, "Oh, what's he like?" or "Do you see him often?" He may downplay it with casual curiosity, but his deeper concern will be evident. Alternatively, he might change the topic entirely or try to refocus your attention on something else, like his own plans or stories, in an effort to reassert his importance. Jealousy doesn't necessarily mean he's controlling, it's his way of grappling with feelings he's not ready to voice. These subtle shifts in behavior, combined with his efforts to regain your focus, are clear indicators that his affection for you runs deeper than he lets on. By recognizing these signs, you can better understand the emotions he's quietly navigating. Sign number 6, he talks about a future with you, indirectly. A man who is secretly in love may not openly say, "I want us to have a future together," but he'll drop subtle hints that he's imagining one. These hints often come in the form of hypothetical scenarios or casual suggestions. For example, he might say things like, "We should go to that concert next month," or "I can totally see you running your own business someday." These remarks may seem innocent, but they reveal that he's thinking about you as a part of his future. This behavior is significant because it reflects his emotional investment and hope for a lasting connection. In love psychology, discussing future plans, even indirectly, is a way of testing compatibility and gauging your reaction. He's essentially trying to see if you'd be open to the idea of something long-term without risking outright rejection. Imagine him saying, "We should take a trip to the mountains someday," or asking, "Have you ever thought about where you'd want to live in a few years?" These comments might seem casual, but they're his way of planting the seed for deeper discussions. He's trying to weave you into his life's narrative, one subtle suggestion at a time. What's even more telling is how he includes you in his personal goals. He might say, "If I ever start my own company, you'd make the perfect partner to help me with ideas," or joke about growing old and needing someone to keep him entertained. While these remarks may seem lighthearted, they're loaded with meaning. By talking about the future, even indirectly, he's letting you know he sees you as a significant part of his life. Sign number 7, his friends know things about you. When his friends know details about you that you didn't share with them, it's a strong sign that he's been talking about you. This doesn't mean he's casually mentioning you in passing, he's likely sharing stories, interests, and impressions that he finds meaningful. People in love naturally talk about the person they care about, and his friends knowing specifics about your life is a clear indicator of how much you're on his mind. What makes this significant is the fact that it shows he values you enough to make you a topic of conversation among his closest circle. In love psychology, discussing someone often signifies admiration and attachment. It's his way of keeping you present in his world, even when you're not physically there. Talking to his friends about you also indicates that he's seeking validation and possibly even advice about his feelings. For instance, imagine meeting his friends for the first time, and they already know your favorite type of music or your love for coffee. They might even tease him, saying things like, "Oh, so you're the person he's been telling us about." While he may laugh it off or try to downplay it, the fact that they know so much speaks volumes. Additionally, he might confide in his friends about how he feels, looking to them for support or encouragement. His friends, in turn, may subtly root for the two of you, offering hints about how much he talks about you. This behavior reveals not only his deep affection but also his hope that you'll notice and understand how much you mean to him. Sign number 8, he's protective over you in subtle ways. A man who is quietly in love will often show his feelings through protective behaviors. This protectiveness may not be overt or controlling, instead, it appears in small, thoughtful gestures. He might instinctively step in when he sees you struggling, check in on you during stressful moments, or keep an eye out for your safety in situations that might seem ordinary. This behavior stems from his deep emotional connection to you. In love psychology, protectiveness is a natural response to valuing someone deeply. It's his way of saying, "I care about you and want to make sure you're okay," without explicitly using those words. It's a quiet yet powerful way of demonstrating his affection and concern. For example, if you're walking through a crowded place, he might position himself slightly closer to shield you from bumps or distractions. Or, if you mention feeling unwell, he might go out of his way to bring you something comforting, like your favorite drink or medicine. Even in group settings, he may subtly ensure you're comfortable, whether by offering to carry your things or asking if you're okay after a long day. His protectiveness also extends to emotional situations. If he senses you're upset, he might offer advice, listen attentively, or simply make an effort to lighten your mood. These actions may seem minor, but they reflect his desire to be a source of security and support in your life. By recognizing these gestures, you'll see just how much he values and cares for you, even if he's not ready to say it outright. Sign number 9, he gets nervous around you. One of the clearest signs that someone is quietly in love with you is the way they act when you're around. Nervousness is a strong indicator of hidden feelings, especially when someone is trying to suppress or conceal their emotions. If he's secretly in love with you, you might notice subtle signs like fidgeting, stumbling over his words, or avoiding prolonged eye contact. These behaviors stem from the pressure he feels to impress you while also fearing that his feelings might be discovered. Love often brings a mix of excitement and anxiety. Psychologically, nervousness occurs when emotions are heightened, and the brain is overthinking every move and word. He might overanalyze his behavior, worrying about how you perceive him or whether he's coming across as confident. This can lead to awkward moments, like laughing nervously at things that aren't funny or seeming unusually clumsy when you're nearby. For instance, imagine sitting together at a casual gathering. You notice that he keeps adjusting his shirt, playing with his phone, or tapping his fingers on the table. When you ask him a simple question, he might pause longer than usual, as if carefully choosing his words. Or, when you compliment him, he might blush, laugh awkwardly, or respond in a way that seems uncharacteristically shy for his usual demeanor. These small but telling signs reveal the depth of his feelings, even if he's trying hard to appear unaffected. Another common behavior is avoiding direct eye contact. While some people may look into your eyes to express their emotions, someone who is hiding their love might find it intimidating. Maintaining eye contact for too long could feel like exposing his feelings, so he might glance away quickly or focus on something else in the room to divert attention. However, when he thinks you're not looking, you might catch him stealing glances at you, as if he can't help but admire you from a distance. His nervousness might also show up in how he handles silence. While confident conversations come naturally to most people, moments of quiet can feel overwhelming for someone who's secretly in love. He might rush to fill the gaps with small talk or jokes, even if they feel unnecessary, just to avoid the vulnerability of silence. This nervous energy is often accompanied by gestures that reveal his effort to make a good impression. He might fidget with his clothes to ensure he looks presentable, fix his hair, or adjust his posture when you're nearby. These small actions, while seemingly insignificant, are his subconscious way of showing that your opinion of him matters greatly. Recognizing these signs can help you understand the emotions he's grappling with. His nervousness isn't a sign of disinterest, it's the opposite. It shows that you're important to him and that he's invested in how you perceive him. By being patient and observant, you can uncover the quiet affection he's been trying so hard to hide. Love isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes, it's tucked away in the quietest of moments, the smallest gestures, and the subtlest signs. As we've explored, someone who is quietly in love might not say the words outright, but their actions often reveal what their heart is too shy to express. It's important to remember that love can be subtle, and not everyone feels comfortable openly sharing their feelings. That's why paying attention to actions, not just words, is key to understanding someone's true emotions. The signs we've discussed, like his willingness to help, his protectiveness, or the way he remembers the little things, are all ways he might be showing his love without saying it. Recognizing these behaviors can help you appreciate the quiet depth of his feelings and even open the door to more honest conversations. So, why not take a moment to reflect? Maybe there's someone in your life who exhibits these signs. Use this knowledge to better understand their actions or simply to appreciate the small yet meaningful gestures they make. Sometimes, love is in the details, and noticing them can strengthen the connection you share. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Did any of these signs resonate with you? Have you noticed these behaviors in someone? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more love psychology tips. Until next time, remember, actions often speak louder than words.